The stars above Earth flickered like distant beacons in the boundless dark. The quiet hum of technology, once seen as a beacon of human progress, now seemed eerily silent as the alien ships hovered above Earth's atmosphere. Commander Sthal, of the Ythka, the most advanced and feared species in the galaxy, observed the planet through his craft's viewing window. His species had crushed dozens of civilizations before. Every star system they conquered added another gem to their already immense empire. But Earth? Earth was different. This tiny blue planet, home to a species of chaotic, unpredictable creatures, had inexplicably avoided their gaze for centuries. Sthal was puzzled. How had such a primitive species been allowed to survive in a universe teeming with power-hungry races? The humans had no grand space fleets, no advanced biological technologies like the Ythka, yet they persisted. They had even colonized nearby moons and asteroids, clinging to their homeworld as if the universe owed them something. The arrogance of them all. His fingers pressed a button on the ship's console and a harsh voice filled the cabin. Commander Sthal, we have confirmed that the humans are unprepared. Their leaders have shown no signs of unity. Their military is divided, and their technologies are far behind ours. It's an easy conquest. We will have them in a matter of days. Sthal nodded slowly, his long, sharp features betraying no emotion. Prepare the fleet. Initiate the landing in the next 48 hours. This will be the first step in absorbing Earth into the Ythka dominion. He leaned back in his chair, looking out at the planet below. Let's show them the futility of their defiance. Day 1. The first contact. The Ythka were not subtle. Their ships tore through Earth's atmosphere in waves, emerging from the clouds like thunderous gods of war. Humans had never seen anything like it. The sky, once so serene, was now filled with ships the size of cities, their hulls glimmering under the sunlight, their engines roaring like the sound of 1,000 lions. Across the globe, panic spread. The news went viral in seconds. Alien invasion. Humanity, for the first time, was united. United not by peace, but by survival. Nations scrambled to respond. The military came to life, defense systems activated, but none of it mattered. The Ythka were not here to negotiate. They had come to conquer, to rule. And yet, nothing happened. Day 2. The human awakening. Sthal's fleet descended, and the ground began to shake under the immense force of their landing crafts. But as the Ythka disembarked, they found something strange. Humans were not fleeing, not cowering. They were standing their ground. Among them was a young woman named Alina Cole, an engineer from Colorado. She wasn't important by any means, just another human caught in the chaos of the first day. But her brain worked differently than most. Alina had spent her life studying quantum mechanics, not for academic fame, but out of an obsession with the strange discrepancies she'd noticed in the fabric of reality itself, small, seemingly random anomalies that didn't quite add up. For years she kept her findings to herself, until the moment she realized that these anomalies weren't random at all. They were a symptom of something far more profound. Day 3. The spark of rebellion as Sthal's forces moved into cities across the globe. They encountered fierce, unexpected resistance. The humans did not fight in the way the Ythka expected. They didn't rally around a single flag or leader. No, these humans fought like a swarm of locusts, unpredictable and chaotic. Their tactics were all over the place, with civilians joining, forces with military personnel, creating an atmosphere of confusion and fear. But it was their resilience that stunned the Ythka. Every time one of their troops fell, they were replaced by another human. Every time a city was overtaken, another one stood up to fight. Then, something even stranger occurred. At the front lines, where the Ythka had expected to see fear and panic, they encountered something altogether different. Humans who were strangely calm. They weren't just surviving, they were thriving. Their technology, though inferior, was being used in new and unexpected ways. Electricity seemed to surge through Earth's cities in ways that had never been seen before. The Yithka's once impenetrable force fields failed to keep humans out of key facilities. Stahl's officers scrambled to understand. How were these primitive creatures doing this? What was fueling their newfound strength? Day 5. The ancient code. It was Alina who cracked the code. Her research had led her to a discovery buried deep in human history. The anomalies weren't just glitches in the universe's rules. They were the remnants of human potential that had been buried for millennia. Humanity, Alina realized, was not just a random occurrence in the galaxy. Humans were the original engineers of reality itself. Thousands of years ago, when humanity had still been young, a select few had tapped into the deepest aspects of the cosmos, the manipulation of time, space, and energy. They called it the Arcanum. The knowledge had been hidden, lost to myth and legend over the centuries, but the powers of those who had once wielded it still existed, embedded in human DNA, a latent potential waiting to be unlocked. Day 7. The Kako. Unleashing the Yithka, who had believed they were gods among mortals, now began to realize their mistake. Humanity had never been weak. They were merely dormant, waiting for the right trigger. And when that trigger was pulled, when the first human unlocked the Arcanum, the universe itself began to bend. Alina Cole, standing at the center of a ruined city, closed her eyes. She reached deep within herself, tapping into the ancient knowledge that coursed through her veins. The ground trembled beneath her feet. The air around her pulsed with energy. And then, she unlocked it. Time itself seemed to ripple. The Yithka soldiers, once unstoppable, now found their weapons flickering, their movements slowing. The fabric of space itself began to stretch and twist, pulling their very ships out of alignment. "What is happening?" Stahl screamed over the comms, his voice strained with panic. The humans had awakened an ancient power, one far greater than the Yithka had ever imagined. Day 9. The final stand. The last battle between humanity and the Yithka was not fought with guns or bombs. It was fought with willpower and belief. Humans, once seen as insignificant, now bent the very fabric of the universe to their will. With every thought, every action, they shaped reality itself, rewiring space and time to their advantage. The Yithka forces tried to fight back, but it was no use. Humanity had discovered its true power, and they were not afraid to use it. As Sithal's ship was pulled into the atmosphere, its engines failing, he understood too late what had been hidden from him. Humans were not merely survivors. They were the architects of the cosmos. Day 12. The aftermath. The Yithka Empire, once the supreme force in the galaxy, lay shattered. Their fleets disbanded, their soldiers scattered to the wind. Earth, once seen as a vulnerable world, now stood as a beacon of power in the cosmos. And humanity? Humanity had only just begun to understand what they were capable of.